10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right, live here for Sega Live, and David Lancaster, the voice of the Southeast Gassers Association. I'm Lee Kraft, aka the Monday Morning Racer, and we're ready to talk some Sega drag racing at Knoxville.
Ready to get up the mountain, man. That is one of my favorite tracks to go to. Just such a picturesque, beautiful racetrack, and it presents so many ways to race. Sitting down in that valley right there, and the change of seasons coming about, this fall race makes for a good one.
Speaking of making for a good one, we're going to have good weather. Some might feel that it's going to be a little bit on the warm side, but nonetheless, it's going to be a beautiful, early autumn, late summer type of setting, and we're going to have a good time at Knoxville Dragway. And I know Wes Clap and he's looking forward to that, because in speaking with him earlier, he mentioned, man, it's like we haven't been able to catch a weather break recently, but we're going to catch it this weekend, and it is going to be a fabulous weekend on Old Rocky Top. Track's looking good. I just dropped off the camper not too long ago, and I'm here in Pigeon Forge for a little family getaway, and I cannot wait to get away from Pigeon Forge, get there Friday, and enjoy some test and tune action at a track that's already getting in shape, race shape wise, for the big Sega show that's going to go down, the MAHLE Motorsports Mountain Madness this weekend. Dave, it's going to be fun.
It really is, and what you said is very true. Getting ready, I know Wes Clap and his guys, they're just like a race shop. Races are won in the shop. We always talk about that, and the work preparing before. And Wes Clap is preparing before the storm of the Southeast Gassers and its family and fans get into Knoxville Dragway. I know he's already out there working 8-10 hours a day with his guys, Mark, and all those. They just do a great job getting that track ready, and it'll have some teeth in it, and those 4 speeds will really be standing up as it comes off the line.
Absolutely true. Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll get Mr. Clap on. We'll talk to him and get ready for the MAHLE Motorsports Mountain Madness at Knoxville Dragway. This word from Larice Motorsports Insurance, and we'll talk with the man on Old Rocky Top when it comes to drag racing, Wes Clap.
Larice Motorsports Insurance offers drag racers the broadest insurance policies in the industry. Larice Motorsports Insurance was created by racers for racers. Larice insures race cars on and off the track, trailers and equipment. Larice even pays racers contingencies at the fling bracket races. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Larice Motorsports Insurance today.
All right, Wes, man, welcome to the show. Good to have you on Southeast Gassers Association Live, and it's about to be live up on Rocky Top.
Yeah, buddy, looking forward to it. Ready to have you guys in and see some good old-fashioned drag racing. So looking forward to it.
Well, Wes, we were talking about the preparations. What are some of the special prep that you got coming up here in the fall for everybody that they might not have seen in the spring, or things that they've come to expect when they come to Knoxville Dragway?
Well, we give it our best on the track surface, of course. We don't spare expenses on glue or anything like that. We did have a big bracket race last week, and we, of course, had scraped the track before that, so we got a good rubber base down, good smooth rubber. And last time we had some problems with some bare spots on the starting line, and which, of course, we brought out the gold dust. And so hopefully we don't have that problem as bad this month or this go around. And track looks pretty mean out there right now. We've actually got Pro Mod Outlaw car here testing today, so they're going to try it out for us here in just a little bit. So it should be okay.
Well, hopefully you're going to get some video of that and post it on your website, maybe without numbers. I know those guys are finicky about their numbers, but it'd be great to see an Outlaw go down that 8th mile track you got there.
Yeah, hopefully we got a 200 mile an hour car in the house, so we'll see what they can see what they can do with it here in a little bit. We'll get them down through there.
But Wes, for a number of years, we've been visiting Knoxville Dragway, and it's become a staple on our schedule, and one that a lot of people look forward to, take vacations around, like you said, with a little bit of the change. Maybe the leaves aren't in full bloom yet, but I know some of them are probably changing up on top of the mountain. But, every time we come up there, you and Mark and your staff, they always are well ready for us to get there. You always do a great job with that. Talk about how many people it takes for you to pull off a Southeast Gasser event like this when we're at full capacity.
Full capacity, normally, of course, we've got probably a dozen, close to a dozen actual staff members, not including concessions. That's including the gate, track personnel, and then we bring on another usually 6 or 7 people. This go around, we got the fire department coming in that's going to help us with some parking. So I would say probably roughly 20 people. Generally, what we go into this weekend prepared for. So we figured it out early on. If you do a good job parking, you can make life a whole lot easier on everybody. Of course, we've had to learn from event. First year, I had a lot of people mad at me. We tried something, and it worked good. We just kind of went about it the wrong way. So each race we do is a learning process, and we've pretty much mastered it and got it down. And so feel good about it and ready to get you guys in here. And I do want to let everybody know, speaking of that, the last time you guys was here in the spring, they're working on the highway. They are putting down some pavement, maybe a little bit tight getting in, so just take your time and get in here. But they're supposed to have all that done by, I think, close of business Friday. So I do want to let everybody know that if you're coming in early, it may be just a little bit tricky getting into the road out here, but they're expecting you. So we've got the county and the state of Tennessee. They know what's happening, what's going on here this weekend. So they're going to hopefully have everything wrapped up where it's a nice, smooth transition for everybody.
That's a great point right there. I mean, you've taken the bull by the horns, and let's say, and contacted those people in charge of those things and let them know, hey, we got guys with, race cars coming in here. Some of them's going to be pretty big, some of them not, but look out for us. Let's get a timeline together where instead of being reactionary, as we see a lot of times, you being proactive, that really will keep down a lot of headaches.
Yeah, buddy. One of my favorite sayings, and I try and live by it, proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. So that's one of my mottos. I try and live by it. And my guys may sometimes give me a hard time and disagree and say I'm the most unorganized person in the world. But when it comes to events, I try and have my crap together.
Well, that is certainly a good thing, and one reason why the Sega camp certainly loves to go up on Old Rocky Top and enjoy some drag racing at Knoxville Dragway. Wes, why Sega? Talk about this relationship, how it came about, and why it fits so well. Your track, your facility, is the only other facility other than Shady Side Dragway that gets 2 dates a year. That's significant.
Well, it is, and we're blessed. We really are. We've got a good relationship with the gassers, the racers, the gasser crew, Leslie, Rich, Rocky, the whole crew. I mean, just from start, from where we started when we met them. And, of course, Quayne was still the owner when we took over Knoxville. And there was, the gassers already come to Knoxville and had been for several years. So we just kind of took it over, and it's just like family. It's like an extended family, and we look forward to so much when you guys come to town. And I think one thing that makes the Gasser so special here is just the nostalgia of the track and the history behind it. And that's something, as we upgrade this place, is something we want to be careful and not take away, is the nostalgia. But I think it's just fitting. Everybody loves it. Our home base, our fans, they love the Southeast Gassers, and I think the the camaraderie, I guess, or the relationship between racers and fans. It's just something special here. And we look forward to growing it each and every time you guys come to town.
Well, Wes, that's very true. And you talked about it earlier, getting a coat of paint on the vintage grandstands, I guess we would call them, the concrete grandstands that are along the right-hand side of the racetrack. Those things totally safe to sit in. And from my vantage point, when I watch a video or a live that we do from there, the live stream or whatever, it gives a wonderful perspective as you draw back to the starting line all the way to the finish line right there. It's just a beautiful place, and there's not a bad seat in the house.
No, there really ain't. And a lot of times when we're in the middle of racing, if I can get away, I like to go down there and get up on the concrete bleachers, or at least stand next to the wall. Of course, there's a fence there along the brick wall or the block wall going down the track. But that's one of the best seats in the house. I mean, you get to see the true speed and how fast these old cars are getting it done. And it's just, I like to steal away and go down there and kind of hide and just, watch some drag racing. And it's just impressive, really, really impressive being down there. And it is. It's one of the best seats in the house.
Yeah, first time I ever got to Knoxville Dragway, it was for a Sega event, and I'm like, oh, that's the spot up there to really capture the action, because from the starting line, you really don't see the whole drag race. Starting line is a great place, but drag racing happens from that standing point down to, in this case, Knoxville Dragway, to 660 feet. And over 660 feet, a lot can happen back and forth, especially with 4-speed, especially with these cars. And you really get to see that action from that vantage point of those old grandstands of what was the circle track.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And, you get to see the horsepower down there. You don't really, I tell people a lot of times, you don't get to see the horsepower up here on the start line. It's cool, the burnouts and everything like that. But down there, you get to really witness the horsepower. You see what these cars can do. And if you've never sat on the concrete bleachers, folks, you at least need to go over there and try it. It is an awesome spot to be at, especially for this event.
And Wes, I don't know if you've been keeping up with any of our lives or any of our videos. I'm sure you have. Some of our races this year have just been razor close at the finish line, sometimes down to thousandths of a second margin of victory. And when our A and B gas cars and all we have, running over 100 miles an hour when they get there, and sometimes these A gas cars 130 miles an hour, it makes for some exciting finish line watching.
Yeah, especially when they change directions every time they grab a gear. That's the exciting part.
It is. It is
don't get
certainly
any better.
A great show.
Yeah, it don't get no better. And I tell people, and of course, we love outlaw cars, and they make 2,000-3,000 horsepower, some of them, and they're rocket fast or super fast. I don't know where it comes from rocket, but there's just something unique about the Southeast Gassers. And I tell people, if you've never seen the Gassers, you're really missing out. It's one of the best shows in drag racing. Some of our local outlaw boys was talking there a couple days ago, and they've never been to the Gassers race. So I got a bunch of them coming this weekend. So they're in for a treat. It's exciting. It really is.
Well, Wes, who are some of the people who help you make it happen up there at Knoxville Dragway? I know you got a lot of support up there.
Well, first off, my wife, she's my right-hand side. Me and her do this thing together. She's loved my life. Of course, we got the new little one. So you guys get to see her grow up as y'all continue to come. But then I got to give shout-outs to Mark, Ross, Tony at the gate. Tony's the father-in-law. All the people behind the scenes, from our concession stand staff, Gracie, Connor, Michelle. We're like family here. And we love being together on our weekends, and sometimes it's hard. You out here, 100-degree weather, working all weekend, and things not going right, clean up oil. It's sometimes tough, but we manage not to kill each other, and we get the job done, and have 95% of the time we have a good time doing it. So thrilled to be here and blessed, really are.
And Wes, I've seen that camaraderie, that family that you talk about, and I think that's one of the reasons why our two dynamics mesh so well together, because y'all just take us in like we're part of your family, and we take y'all in like y'all part of our SCGA family.
Yeah. can't do it without your crew. And I want to give another shout out to my buddy Brian. Him and his wife Alicia, they're behind the scenes. They're the actual property owners, and so we lease the property from them, and they're big behind the scenes. We're thankful for them. And also want to give a shout out to Excess Power Batteries, one of our title sponsors here at Knoxville Dragway. They make the world go round. Them, Ted Russell Ford, and I could go on and on. So, but I'm thankful for each and every one of our sponsors behind the scenes too, and those that's going to help us get this place fixed up, which is mostly spectators and racers, and it takes us all. It's like the circle of life in the racing world. It takes us all. So I'm just lucky enough to get to move the steering wheel once in a while.
What are some of the future plans for Knoxville Dragway? I know that here recently those nice grandstands have been put in, a beautiful set of grandstands on what is the pit side. What beyond that for Knoxville Dragway?
Well, we have one more set of aluminum bleachers to put up. We've got part of them down in the field. Was hoping to do that this year, but it didn't work out. We've just been battling the weather. Seems like everybody has. So that's one thing on our list. We're also wanting to do some asphalt work on our pits. We also eventually we're looking at the far end of the property, putting the campground in. The property butts right up to a big wide open spot in the creek down there. And it's a big old creek down there on that end. So, we've got some pretty cool ideas coming, of course, electrical hookups and stuff like that. And as we do the campground, so plus we want to get the old concrete bleachers fixed up, and we've got a long list of stuff to do. A long list. We want a new concession stand building and shower houses. That's on the agenda. So we just need the weather to cooperate with us a little bit more than it has the past couple of years. If that happens, then it'll be time to get some work done. But we put faith in the big man. When it's ready to happen, he'll make it happen.
Spectacular. Look, this coming weekend, Leslie Horn in AGAS has been on a hot streak. Do you think anybody can knock him off of old Rocky Top and get a win there at Knoxville? And, can Ted McKee in the Rocky Top Missile get a win? Who are some of your favorites that you look at when they roll into the gate of the Southeast Gassers Association?
Oh, man, Ted's a good one. Of course, Leslie's got his stuff together. Then you got the Joker. Let's see. I don't know if the Southern Flower car's been running. I hadn't seen it the last couple of times. And then there's the Corvette. I like them all. I love the old split window Corvette. So that anybody's game, I guess. Say Ted's getting his stuff together. Also, old Henry boy's been coming up here doing some testing in his new hot rod. So he's gaining some ground.
All right. Well, Wes, what are some rules and guidelines for this weekend at Knoxville that people might need to know? Like, we always get questions on Southeast Gassers Association that really pertain to the track, like is parking free, or am I paying, or is there VIP, or can I bring my camper? All those type of things. Give us the rundown of what people can expect this weekend from Knoxville Dragway.
Yeah, basically we don't charge anything else for parking. We park it. We do start parking on Saturday morning inside the gate. We do have people directing you where to park, and folks, everybody wants to park up front. I get it, but on an event like this, we just can't. We never know how many people we're going to have. We do know we're going to have a crowd. We can't put a number on it. So we do have to start right from the get-go and park everybody the best we can. Some people get up frustrated because they have to park in the field. But we do run a trolley. So, just stand by your vehicle for a minute, and trolley will be through. You can hop on it. You can throw your coolers in there, whatever you got, your chairs. And as far as camping, we welcome campers. We don't have an additional charge for camping. All we request is that you buy your weekend passes. We do like to have you in here by close of day Friday, because Saturday morning it will be crazy from the word go. I shouldn't say crazy, it will be busy as far as getting people in here. And once we start parking cars, it's hard to get campers where we put them. So we do ask that campers be in by close of day on Friday. But that's pretty much it, guys. Just come in and, handicap. We do have a little bit of handicap parking, but it's first come, first serve. And once it's full, it's gone. So, you may be down in the field, but if you are, just sit tight, come by, catch the trolley. And, I think if everybody pretty much knows it's going to be a big crowd and they kind of knows what to expect, it goes a lot easier. Sometimes we'll have people come in and I think they want you to roll out the red carpet for them and park them in the staging lanes. And it just, unfortunately, it don't happen. So people sometimes get mad at us when we tell them where they got to park, this and that. But if you just trust the process and go with the flow, I promise you it'll be worth it.
And Wes, no glass bottles, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No glass
don't need
bottles.
any punctured tires.
Yeah, racing tires are expensive. And, we do try and keep a nice, clean facility. We appreciate everybody's help in doing that. Anybody caught damaging property, we don't put up with anything like that. I'm not a mean person, but you start tearing down our drag strip or doing crazy stuff, there's going to be problems, but that never happens for the Southeast Gassers, and we're thankful for that. So folks, just try and help us keep a clean facility, and we'll do the same. If you do see something that needs our attention or somebody has made a mess, by all means, please come let us know. We'll be happy to get that cleaned up and fixed and everything. We want y'all to have a good time. We want y'all to come back and kick back, or come up, kick back, and relax and have a good time.
Something that has got my attention the times that I've been to Knoxville is the concession stand is slammed all day. I have not been able to get anything with doing the to and fro that I'm up to in covering the event. So what makes it so good? What are people buying down there? It is slammed the whole day.
Well, we take a lot of pride in our K-Town Cafe, and I also want to give a shout out to the Union County Chamber of Commerce. They sponsor our concession stand and help us out with that. And it's just good food, folks. We have everything: fried okra, the hamburgers, corn dogs, and a little bit of everything. We do take pride in our food. There are sometimes, and on bigger events, we do kind of cut back on some of the things we do just to try and speed up the process and get people through. But we've got a great staff down there, and they hustle and they get things done. And it may be a long line, but don't let the line intimidate you. We do move it through quick, and you will come out there with some good food, and your belly's going to love you.
One of the cool things I love is you got some of those concrete picnic areas, picnic tables, right beside your staging lanes, right there at the head of staging. And I've seen so many people go, "Hey, man, I hadn't seen you in 5 years," and they sit down, they eat a hot dog together, drink a Pepsi, whatever the case may be, and they end up enhancing their day because they see a friend and enjoy a little bit of food with him, as we like to do here in the South. And you do a good job with that. You got a great facility there in the way you planned it out.
Well, I appreciate that. We do. We take great pride in it, and we got a long ways to go with this old place to getting it where we want to be. But we're also thankful for what it is and what it's meant to racers and fans alike over the years. Special place in a lot of people's hearts, and like you said, it's just something special about coming to the track and hanging out. We've got certain groups that come all the time, and they got their buddies. Some of them we call them the DPC, the Dead Pecker Club, but they good old farts. So we like having them up here, and everybody. It's just environment. It's just electrifying, I guess. I don't know what to say about that, but it's just something special, and we're thankful for it. It's always a good time when the Gassers come to town.
Well, we're looking forward to the good time that we're going to have this weekend with Sega there at Knoxville Dragway. And for everyone that's going to be there, though, if they're able to, there is some festivities going on Sunday, from what I understand. It's Cars and Coffees once again, and how's that been going?
Man, it's been really going great. It really has. Ted Russell Ford's got on board, which is one of our big Ford dealerships here in Knoxville, and they've been backing us on that, and it's gaining momentum, gaining traction. Of course, you see Cars and Coffee. People do them a lot, and we have one here in West Knoxville that's absolutely huge, and we're talking about thousands of cars come out for it. But ours is unique. It's been great for us, and it's really gaining ground. We see more and more people each and every time we do one. Of course, we do it on Sunday. We have a couple of churches down here at the end of the track, and we give them the respect that they're deserved, and or that they deserve. And we don't fire any cars up or do anything on the track till after 12 o'clock. But man, once 12 o'clock starts, they get out there, and I mean, they just have a good time. And it's, you know, it don't cost anything. We charge everybody $10 at the gate to get in. Of course, kids 10 and under are free, but once you pay your $10, you can get out there and hot rod all day. And so it's something that's really growing, and it's been a help to the track, to the facility, and also to the community. So we're thankful for it, and want to keep that going. And it's like I said, it's growing, it really is.
Well, that is good news, and it is good news that the Southeast Gassers Association will be rolling in Friday and Saturday. Wes, good to have you on the show. We look forward to being on Rocky Top and seeing you and taking in all the Sega action there at Knoxville Dragway.
Look forward to having you again, guys. Thanks. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Probably should have said that about the DPC. I apologize.
It's fine. No worries. No worries.
But anyway, look forward, guys. If y'all need me, y'all know how to get a hold of me. And safe travels to you on your way in. And Knoxville Dragway is ready to make it happen.
All right. Thank you, Wes. Appreciate it, man.
See you guys.
Well, David, look, we got a lot to talk up concerning the on-track action that will take place, and we're going to do it right here on Sega Live after this word from Summit Racing Equipment. Whether you're building a street rod or a gasser, all the way up to a top fuel dragster or a funny car, anything, Summit has got the equipment for all your racing needs. Summit Racing Equipment. From the store, the catalog, or online, you can get your street rod, hot rod, personal ride, and even race car, including a Southeast Gassers Association ride, ready for action. Build with Summit Racing Equipment. David, man, we're going back up there to Maynardville, just north of Knoxville, Tennessee, and this is a great place for Sega drag racing. I haven't been going that long. I think the first time that I was able to go was 2 years ago and only able to catch one event, so this is only like my fourth time. But look forward every time to going to this drag strip. Just a great place to catch Sega drag racing.
It really is, and MAHLE Motorsports saw that early on, and with the help of Tim Hall, our two-time world champion, you know, MAHLE was brought into the Southeast Gassers, and they have really stepped it up for our fall race here every year. And you'll have a chance to see the representatives from MAHLE Motorsports, and they'll be having something set up there. It really makes it good for our racers and even people who are building a street rod or just, you know, a custom car or a Southeast Gassers to get in there and be able to talk to a customer service person, a technologically, you know, advanced person that can tell them how MAHLE Motorsports and their components can help them in building their car. But Rocky Top just always brings out the best in the Southeast Gassers.
You know, MAHLE has a big place in the state of Tennessee. I know just south of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, they've got a big facility. Not sure what they do at that particular facility, but, you know, they're making pistons on so many different ends of the spectrum, whether it is, you know, a production vehicle to a vehicle such as a Southeast Gassers drag car, and it is great to have them along with Sega partnering brand to brand, because, you know, they go throughout the world of motorsports. And you are absolutely correct, David, to have MAHLE there. You know, someone building their hot rod, and they might just have the solution. Someone building their next gasser, they might have the solution. Someone there might just need what they're providing. And that's what also does make the Southeast Gassers Association shows great. The people who come, I don't think many times they're just drag racing people. I think a lot of people, they're car people, and they love these cars. And you've got an audience that you can pitch your products to, whether that is Summit, MAHLE, Larice Motorsports Insurance, G-Force Racing Transmissions, Ram Clutches. There's applications with the individual in the stands, though they might not have a gasser. The spring edition of this race was sponsored by Ram Clutches, and Ram Clutches, they've got a lot of products for your Mustang and your street car and the car you take to the track, whether that's straight or going left and right. So some great products and great brands that have partnered with Sega. You're absolutely correct. So yeah, if you need some help from MAHLE, they're going to be there.
And they really do a great job, as we said. But just getting back to Knoxville Dragway and Rocky, you can just sense it in every time we talk to Wes Clap and all his people there. They're so accommodating. They're glad that we're coming through the gate, that our fans are coming through the gate, that our family is coming through the gate, because they circle these dates up there at that drag strip, and a lot of the spectators who come there on a weekly basis circle it. And I'm not saying these people will be in appearance, okay? These are people that I have seen there in the past. Tennessee and East Tennessee has a plethora of good drag racing dating back to the Pro Mod and the Top Sportsman Quick 8 Days. And the number one man you got to think about right there is Mr. Robbie Vandergriff. Every race that I've been to, Robbie is always there with that big beaming smile of his, talking to Quayne, Mitch, Scotty Cannon. Those guys are always there. Terry Housley is usually there with them. And those guys were the Quick 8 of Don Clemens's, group. I mean, they're the reason I went to Greer Dragway and was looking so forward to going to Greer Dragway when the Quick 8 come to town, So a lot of those guys went on to championships and world championships. We've seen Charles Carpenter there in the past. But again, none of these people have told us, we're going to be there or anything like that. But that's who you're going to see there. The rich heritage in East Tennessee is very, very prevalent at Knoxville Dragway when the gassers come to town.
Also, it seems to be an event that is a destination event with the location, the facility. I mean, look, I'm an hour down the road right now in Pigeon Forge and near Gatlinburg and Sevierville. So you can make a week of it, enjoy some time in Pigeon Forge and then go to the racetrack or reverse it, go to the racetrack and then enjoy some time at Pigeon Forge. And you've got things in Knoxville to do. You have people come to this race. Last time that we were there, and you weren't able to make it, sadly, but there was a family from Hawaii. They had family in East Tennessee. They planned their vacation to meet family and circled the Sega event to catch it from what they had seen and experienced online. And there were people from Connecticut and New Jersey and from overseas. It's one of those races that, if you're going to experience Sega, kind of like Shady Side, like this gets you the vibe of the, as we say today, of like, man, this is how it kind of was. It's that kind of facility with this kind of racing. It just pairs very well.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Lee. I mean, and then you go as far as to have somebody like Wes and all these people who, like I said, their family blends with our family so well. It's like even bigger family. It's just incredible, and it's an easier pull for guys out of, Alabama. We've got so many people there. Our racers in Alabama and our racers in Tennessee are a big group. I mean, you think about it. You got Todd Hines. You got Charlie, Tennessee Charlie. You got Randy Kiefer. You've got Huddleston and all those guys, as well as you can throw in people who've been there in the past. So Tennessee and Alabama people, that's an easy pull for them. There's a lot of interstates that get you to Knoxville Dragway, and it's bigger roads, and it really is a very accessible racetrack, and it makes, like I said, one of our people put on there, that area is part of one of the most beautiful parts of the country we have here in the United States of America, and it'll be on full display this weekend.
It will be. It's also a good location. It might feel like it's in the middle of nowhere, but just down the road, you got plenty of options for restaurants, for grocery stores. So don't feel like you're going to be skipping out on amenities. That's not the case. Knoxville Dragway is already a great place to go experience Sega drag racing. Very enthused on what Wes said and what they've got plans to do. They do got that creek, and it's people already kind of line up back on that creek to just get those feelings and camping, and it is a neat place to experience a drag race. And I don't know, maybe one day they'll revive like the Circle Track Park, and the gassers can dive off in turn one. Well, some of them are already doing it, in fact. I mean, it's I need to set a camera up at the shutdown when people take it too far and they still use the banking there at turn one Knoxville Speedway. So looking forward to it.
It has happened in previous years that we've been there. Some guys have to run it really hard through the speed trap just to make that 660 mark and try to win, and then all of a sudden they look over and the next thing they see is a curve coming up and they don't have enough brake. So it definitely has some sphincter tightening issues down there if you let it go too far.
Absolutely. Well, we are in the midst of some great championship battles going into Knoxville Dragway, and it is going to be a fight. David Agas, I think, Leslie comes in here with all the momentum as it pertains just to Knoxville, but yet momentum from the last event, obviously Ben Christopher, but we've had so many different winners in Agas. Can Leslie Horn remain on top on the mountain, or is this the right time for him to get knocked off?
Well, I mean, Leslie and Chase, I've got the points pulled up here on my iPad. Leslie and Chase are in a 10-point deficit. Chase is 10 points. That's only 2 rounds of racing behind Leslie Horn. And then you throw Ben Christopher, who arguably is the hottest guy out there right now, coming off a wonderful victory in very, very convincing fashion at Jackson, Tennessee. He is also 10 points back in a virtual tie with Chase in second place. And then only 30 points back of them is Greg Stelzen, the Joker. And then Barry Adler tied with him. So we've got 2 ties. Some guys could really jump each other in Agas. And yes, Leslie Horn still has that big target on the back of that chick magnet where he says, my chick bad. Well, we're going to see how bad that chick is this weekend when he gets up on old Rocky Top and takes on this Agas field.
There it is, as you just described it, so folks can see it on the board. Leslie Horn on top, but it is a good, close race, and it is going to be a fight in Agas. Certainly, Leslie with the momentum at Knoxville, but Ben's got a lot of momentum after that last race. We've had so many different winners this year. It is going to be a spectacular race in Agas alone. But hey, the full Sega show is going to be at Knoxville, so we're going to have competitors in A-Gas, B-Gas, C-Gas, AFX, H-Gas there competing, as well as Superstock. You're going to see all the stars of Sega. It's going to be a great show. And in B-Gas, I think right now it is a issue for all of the competition chasing Ken Rainwater. They have to scratch and claw, maybe even get strategic starting now.
Very much. And, Ken Rainwater won the spring event at Knoxville Dragway. So you got to figure he's got the favorite card in that Renegade coming in at 170 points. What I'm going to be watching is the Ted McKee, Michael Oden, type of battle. You throw those 2 guys in there. They're 15 points apart. Ted back in his hometown, his home track, where he's probably made hundreds of runs down that racetrack. You got to think Ted wants to win desperately there. An early round matchup with somebody like Michael Oden, if Michael misses a shift or Ted misses a shift, that could really pose doom for him. But, looking down that list, we got a birthday boy on that list too, John McLaughlin. He's celebrating a birthday. I think it's today, and he's sitting in 5th place in points in his rookie year with the Southeast Gassers. But, the top 5 is really tight. And then you throw Briley Stott, Wayne Swafford, some guys who missed some races. Charlie Lee, who's in his hometown and just coming off a win in Jackson. So he's looking to make it 2 wins in the state of Tennessee this year. That all the way through here is going to be some great racing. And the pre-entry list has a lot of race cars on it. We've got a fuller field than we've ever had before. I think we've got 16 or 18 cars in B gas, and then I think 14 in C and 11 in A. And that was a couple of days ago when I saw the pre-entry list.
Absolutely. Now, Charlie, he's still looking for that win in Tennessee, because last event it was Mr. Rainwater there in Jackson. But Brainerd, yes, Charlie comes out, Brainerd, and like, I'm back. And he showed everyone that he is certainly a contender, and goes and makes the final there at Jackson. Look, Sparta isn't that far down the road from Knoxville. It is in a different time zone, but nonetheless, it's not too far. And he's going to be one that you got to look out for. And look, Ted McKee's got to win. Okay? Ted McKee's got to win. It is also UT football weekend. And he's got the Rocky Top missile with the Tennessee on. He's got to do it. It's got to happen. Okay? So, Ted, all pressure is on you. Not just for a championship, but you got to represent this weekend for all of Knoxville.
Well, I promise you, it's not going to be for lack of effort by him. He's going to be loaded for bear, that's for sure. And if you're Rainwater, you're looking to just make rounds, 1 round at a time, and that's just going to keep adding points, and he can just point you to death,
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I really wonder if there might be some. We've seen this in NHRA Pro Stock, and it's been done in the modern day. It's been done in days of old, but you look at that qualifying sheet and you're like, okay, I figured something out during test and tune. I don't have to go out here and be number 1, but I do want to go up against number 1 and see if I can swing things into my favor. So might be very interesting in BGAS what we get and how they might want to play it out. If it's now. Some of them, the wild card remains, as we've been talking about since it was announced, Gulfport.
Yes.
It being 2 races in 1 weekend.
Well, I don't think that you are dead after this weekend by any means because of that big 2-race weekend. But I do agree with you that we may see some gamesmanship in qualifying to try to put some favorable matchups together for points implications. And I see that especially happening in C-Gas. C-Gas is, Jaron Purdue, the winner of the last race, he's got a point lead right now over 15 points over Ernie Smith in the Saturday night special. And then you only, another 30 points back to the Damn It Bob. And then you got Todd Oden in there at 105, and he's in 4th. Oden might be one that's looking for the double points weekend because he's had some bad luck. He had some bad luck in Jackson. He blew a motor. Don't know where he's at in the getting that back, but I know those guys are listening and they're thrashing away, so he must have his motor back from One Way Technologies. But, yeah, and then you got a guy like, if Tim Hall shows up. Brad Wimberly run great, I thought, after coming back after an absence up in Tennessee. You know, and a guy like Heath Adams. You just can't. I mean, Seagas is wide open. I mean, it really is. And so you could see a guy play the spoiler and not doing the gamesmanship thing. You could still see spoilers in that. So, you know, Seagas is turning into a drama of its own.
It is. You know, I think of Ben Shaw. He's had some brilliant moments this year. And Ernie Smith right now, like, he's got to get a win in 2025. Like, he has made so many final round appearances, and then he's also had some tough big matchups in still later rounds, but earlier in the day before the final round. And the tenacity that he's got, I feel like Ernie's got that win out there in 2025 somewhere at some point still this season. He was a finalist at this very race in the spring. So if he has that race win and Jaron doesn't go rounds, which has happened as far as he has obviously done with winning, man, who knows? You know, the competition there in Seagas, it has some people right now that do stand out performance-wise, but as you mentioned, Tim Hall, like what? Yeah, he shows up. The only time, so far this year, I think Tim's been to 2, and out of the 2, he picks up a win at Shadyside.
Yes, he's only attended 2 events, and he's 50% win percentage.
Right. So, yeah, you don't want Tim showing up. You don't. It throws the proverbial monkey wrench into the situation in Seagas. So it is, folks. I know, folks, in drag racing, you think, oh, hey, you know, this class is run, that class is run. I'm gonna go down in the pits, and look, you can. Every ticket's a pit pass. Go enjoy yourself. Get up close. You know, see if you can get in the driver's seat. You know, get a hero card, buy a T-shirt. You know, interact with these drivers. They're going to do that. They will do that. But honestly, you don't want to miss any of the action on track. It is going to be a big time, and there are some big stakes. Because look, that amount of time to change your situation for the championship in each of these categories, it is coming to a close. It is go time. You cannot mess up. There's going to be some people up on the chip, and they're ready to race. And categories like Seagas, there's going to be some heartbreaking moments, I bet.
There is. I mean, as we mentioned before, and he deserves every bit of credit because he's earned every bit of credit. He's a 2-time world champion, and that's Tim Hall. What if Tim Hall comes in there and, you know, he's trying something different and he just doesn't qualify well, and he's got a first-round matchup with Jaron Purdue?
Right.
Jaron Purdue is going to be like, oh, boy. I mean, anybody would, when they line up against him, is going to be like, oh, boy, I got to have my P's and Q's on there. What if he drops the clutch a little too soon? We've seen Jaron Purdue red light, you know, and, you know, basically throw away the rest of the event. Then Ernie Smith's got to be chopping at the bit to go rounds. But he could get knocked out just as well because he's went red before too.
Right.
But going back to your point, there's no one that's more sentimentally their pick than Ernie Smith to get a win.
Yeah.
But there again, it's been almost 9 years since Ernie's had a win. But I will agree with you. He is at the best point in his career to get a win right now. He really is. Everything seems to be working well. He has no problem with his work ethic. Brian Harris race cars tuning on that thing. His engine builder just escapes me for just a moment. But, you know, he's got an engine program that's running pretty well. I know the guy works at Clements Automotive, and I just can't remember his name. I had to pull up my notes. But that car's running well.
Yes, it is. Earlier this year, Ernie said this. He's like, the car is right. I had to get the driver right. And honestly, since he said that, he's been right. And it has been a tough combination in C-Gas. Jaron leading the way and has got stellar performance and has been driving well. And we've got a dogfight. And, again, wild card, that double race weekend, but it is going to be an interesting race beyond Knoxville and what we're going to go into at Gulfport of all the categories, especially looking at C-Gas. Well, Superstock, obviously, Jerry Dean leading the way. Jerry Dean dominating, other than the one event that Rob Walden picks up his first class Southeast Gassers Association win there in Superstock. It's been all Jerry Dean. And I know that the other competitors are scratching and clawing, and they're ready to dig in and give Jerry all they've got. But Jerry just seems to have the edge over everyone right now. Though Rob wants to change that story, and though Bryant Dalton Sr. is hanging on each and every event.
Yeah, Bryant Dalton Sr. is really one that's, got me sentimentally. He has worked and worked and worked for probably 3 years. Got a good car under him, but he's continued to test. He hasn't complained. He just goes to work and tries to get extra hundredths and maybe a tenth out of that car. And he's sitting in second place. But you can call in the dogs on this one. Unless Jerry Dean catches a terrible cold or can't make the race, Jerry Dean is going to be your 2025 Superstock champ. That's I hate to give that away, but it is. He's got it wrapped up. He will continue to go rounds as long as that car will fire up. But Bryant Dalton is not going to quit, and that's the heart of a champion that we always talk about. Rob Walden, with all the experience that he has, and now that beautiful 63 Biscayne, I think that's what it is. He's in there, car that's painted up just like his dad's was, and that's another reason we're so endeared to Rob. But he's done well. He's going to continue to work and tweak, and that's what the Southeast Gassers is all about. No whining. Just get to work, find your extra tenth, extra hundredth, make yourself a better driver, like you said, Ernie said he was going to do, and get out here and compete.
Superstock, Jerry leading the way. People seem to be fighting for second. We look at H-Gas, was not contested at Jackson, not enough cars, and we do have a field coming up this weekend at Knoxville Dragway. Looking forward to the competition there in H-Gas. They put on a good show, and it is a fan favorite class. They get into it. A lot of folks are getting into this class, so looking forward to having them at Rocky Top as well. And in competition, Colby has really figured out this combination. He looked at the rules, and he goes in and by the rules builds something that makes sense and is performing well. And he comes into Knoxville Dragway, and he is going to be defending a win from the spring.
Yeah, probably the hottest guy in H-Gas right now, Colby Welch. He's had a very, very emotional time from Jackson, Tennessee, and I'm sure he's still working through that, and he'll be racing with a heavy heart. And, Todd Hines going to be right there, as well as Larry. I think Larry Noel's on the entry sheet. So we'll see some good action in H-Gas. But Colby Welch, what he and Ron Allison put together in that 48 Anglia, the little Indian, has been nothing short of remarkable, because that thing, like you said, they did their homework. They came in there. they set the world on fire. They really did. So it's going to be interesting to see if those records continue to go down. And we've got one of our guys, Homer Fairway. I'm looking for the records right now, buddy. I'm trying to go through my notes. If I don't get them for you for this, I'll make sure I have them on the live feed this weekend, and we'll let you know those elapsed time records. Looks like Mickey Huddleston helped you out there. 6:37 with an 8 is the record in Superstock. So, and Purdue, 5:95 is the record holder in C. So very good questions by Homer Fairway there, and glad that our SEGA family could get it to you before I could, because I'm looking at about 4 different screens here.
Last category, a great category, AFX. The last time we were at Knoxville, Daniel Haynes got the win in the Southern Comfort AFXer. Therefore, with Todd's performance driving and his wins and Daniel's win and the points going along with the car, the Southern Comfort Hot Rod is atop the AFXers.
It really is, and poised to win the championship is Todd Wimberly in that class. I see him going rounds as much as he can, but really to me, the one to talk about still Jeffrey Ferguson in the Wild and Woolly 2, winner of our last event in Jackson. And I'm gonna be honest with you, in convincing fashion did he win that event there in Jackson, Tennessee, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can bring that to Rocky Top and take the win in the Wild and Woolly 2 in AFX. Now, you got other guys that are dead gunning for him. I know Alan Platt wants one of those cups so bad he can taste it, as well as Robbie Walden wants to put his name on one and be the 3rd generation Walden to win a race. I know that's something big that he wants to check off his list of accomplishments.
Jeffrey Ferguson debuted that hot rod at Knoxville 1, the spring edition. Comes out, testing, qualifying. It's like, ooh, here's a combination. Goes out there. He has a very interesting Knoxville 1 in that qualifies number 1, and then the next pass, steering is all out and brakes fail, and he's one side of the track, other side of the track, and, gave some great footage for Sega on social media for everyone to chime in on what they think is happening and diagnose it when they don't got a clue. And he got that repaired, goes around, and yet then has a driving issue, and Daniel Haynes beats him, and Daniel goes on to win the race. And then they've got the technical infraction at Brainerd with not going to the staging lanes, getting ready for victory lane celebrations, and the tech that happens there. And man, they show up at Jackson, chip on their shoulder, like we know not to stop at the pit. We know what we got to do in the starting line. We know what we got to do down track. We know brakes are fit. We're ready. And yes, like you said, in a convincing fashion, they pick up that win. So, yeah, definitely got to keep an eye on him. I certainly hope that they're ready for old Rocky Top once again, and it will be a battle, and it's going to be good. Todd Wimberly announced, though, that his hot rod's for sale. That Southern Comfort car is for sale at the end of this season. So if you're out there and you're a racer and you want to get into Sega and you want a good hot rod and get into AFX, we know a guy.
You sure do, and what a great way to what a great car that you could start out in, because I mean, if that car just continues to just make some rounds at each event, I don't know if anybody can catch Todd Wimberly in the Southern Comfort, and especially if you're a blue oval guy, it's got the FE in that, and that's a good one. But going back to Jeffrey Ferguson, you talked about his adventures he had there in Knoxville 1. What most people don't know, and what I'm learning more about Jeffrey Ferguson, is part of his driving pedigree, and we had him on the show, and this guy's been to Bonneville Salt Flats. He's went considerably faster than an AFX car can go.
Yes.
But he told me, he said, man, I had a handful of steering wheel, and the way that these cars are constructed are not of the modern era. No bump steers, no computerized shocks and all that stuff. And it makes for a different element. And he seems to be old school enough that he's been in a wheel and can behind the wheel and can drive by the seat of his pants enough that he can make this work. So one of the nice up and coming racers that we have in the Southeast Gassers.
Yeah, Jeffrey's done just about all of it. He's been in front engine dragsters. He's been in gassers. You know, he was in A-Gas for a little while with a very quick and fast hot rod, and they wanted to get this AFXer going. He's been in that. He quite literally may be the fastest Southeast Gassers Association racer in the sense of how fast have you gone in your lifetime, because, yeah, he's part of the 300 mile per hour club out there at Bonneville. I mean, he's got it done. I mean, it he's been around. Like, so you see what happens to him at Knoxville. They overcome it, they get it, they work it out, and you know, they overcome all the other things, and they get a win. And I don't think that's their last win this season. Every time that we see them, whatever race it is, threat. Like, if we had our own version of drag race bracket bonanza and you fill in the ladder, like, pick him all the way to the final and the win. Like, that would be a good pick each and every time.
Yeah, his experience, his know-how, the way he can adjust and work on his car, just like we talked about before. You got to be able to work on these cars and tweak everything you can out of them.
Absolutely.
He's one that can do that.
He can. Well, David, I'm looking forward to hearing the call Friday and Saturday from the tower. And yes, the racing action Friday and Saturday will be live streamed on the Southeast Gassers Association YouTube channel, as well as some other places. Eliminations exclusively on the Southeast Gassers Association YouTube channel. We are ready for the MAHLE Motorsport Nationals, a.k.a. Mountain Madness at Knoxville Dragway. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing you and the whole crew. It is going to be a good time on Old Rocky Top.
Same for myself. I can't wait to get back to the racetrack, see you get everything set up, and start seeing the family. And it's going to be hot. It's going to be electric on that racetrack. I'm telling you.
It is. Anything else, David?
Now, I wish everybody safe travels. Don't take anything for granted, and God bless everybody.
Well, folks, we're going to switch gears out of here. We're very thankful to G-Force Racing Transmissions, the official 4-speed of the Southeast Gassers Association. Whether it's racing or performance or the street, they've got a transmission to fit your application. Check out and shift with G-Force. I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer, over the voice of Sega, David Lancaster. God bless, and keep the pedal to the metal.